talk about 5 camp tips that I can give to you from my personal experience that come in really handy, whether you're motorcycle camping or you're just camping out of a van, mostly wherever in the world, but this applies to India as I've only camped in this country. So let's begin with the video. Tip number one is to reach to your campground early. By early, it means that you have to plan your trip in such a way that you still have 1 hour of good light left when you start to unpack your bike and start pitching your tent. This is because you can pitch your tent when there's still good amount of light, so you can figure out which space is best for your tent, what kind of ground suits you. You've got to find a plain level ground so that you can sleep peacefully, and hopefully you can find a safe place to camp. So reaching in good light is the first thing that I can tell you that is really important for a good camping night. Tip number two is to segregate your packing in different compartments. Now the way I do it is that I carry a tail rack on which I mount a tail bag on the bike, which consists of all my camping gear. So my tent, my sleeping bag, my sleeping mattress, there's a little bit of a fleece blanket that goes in there. I have a tent light, I have a headlamp, I have an inflatable pillow. All of this stuff goes into that tail bag. Now this is because as soon as I park my bike near a campsite and I'm beginning to search for a good place to camp, I don't have to go through my saddlebags and different bags to figure out which bag has which stuff. So I can just pull out one bag from the rear of the bike, which is really easy, and just go about camping. I just unzip the bag and I know all my stuff for camping that I require is gonna be there. If you segregate your stuff, you're gonna save a hell lot of time. Tip number three is to get a nice fire going, preferably before it gets too chilly. Now, to get a basic fire going, you've got to carry a lighter or a matchbox. You've got to carry a few coal strips or coal blocks if you can. If you can't do that, basic flint or any kind of fire starting kit will be great for you. One thing that can really help you and is cost effective is that you can just go to a regular hookah parlor here in wherever you are based out of, or a normal panwadi as we call it in India, and ask for coal. Or you'll get these little coal packets which have blocks of coal in it, and you can just keep it under the log of woods wherever you are, and you can really easily and really quickly light a fire, and you can get the fire going in no time. And it's essential to time the fire right as well. What a lot of people end up doing is they'll start lighting the fire at 6 and the fire is out by 9 and they start feeling cold for the rest of the night. So it's essential to light the fire just before you're having your dinner, so that once you've had your dinner and you're settling into the campsite and into your tent, the tent is still warm, and by the time you're asleep you can still get some kind of warmth from the fire. So time it right and get a nice fire going before it gets too chilly. Tip number four is especially for people who are camping in cold areas, in the mountains, near a river, wherever you are. If it's gonna dew in the night, remember to cover up your bike. Now I carry a rainproof bike cover. You may not necessarily cover up the entire bike, but how I like to do it is I essentially cover up my seat where I'm gonna sit the saddle, as well as my tank bag. So I do not take my tank bag off the bike at night, especially if it's a campsite where I'm all by myself. I just need to lay down the bike cover over the tank bag, any parts or any USB ports that I have on the bike, and the seat. Essentially these are the only areas that I need to care about water seeping in. And if my tank bag stays dry and my seat stays dry, my next day's ride is gonna be a lot more smooth. So yeah, that's tip number 4, to cover up all parts of the bike or your vehicle that you feel can just cause a little bit of problem if dew just starts to settle on it. And trust me, high up in the altitude, when it's cold and it's December, it's January, it dews like hell. It's almost like it's frozen in the morning, and you cannot move anything. So that's one precautionary step that I would like to suggest to you. Now, the last tip is probably the most important one when it comes to camping anywhere in the world, and I would suggest for you to carry a basic pocket knife. That's tip number 5. That's it. So you just need to carry a pocket knife or anything sharp that you can use in the case of an emergency. Now, my emergency camping equipment just has 2 or 3 things. I carry a really sharp pocket knife. I got it not too expensively out of Amazon, I think. I carry a headlamp that is battery operated, so I just keep it next to me when I'm sleeping in case I need to run to take a quick pee in the night or whatever it is. If after dinner I've forgotten something on the bike, I need to get it quickly, I just put my headlamp on, keep the knife in my pocket and just head for my bike. And yeah, of course, my emergency camp kit also includes a couple of power banks. So it's really important for you to have some source of charging your phones, your cameras, whatever it is that you're carrying. So I think the last tip essentially would include having an emergency camp kit. Otherwise, knife is what I would like to lay more emphasis on. Wherever you are in the world, especially in India, you need to have some kind of protection for yourself, be it animals, be it anybody, even if it's just to scare someone off. I've not had to use it till now, and I hope I don't have to. But yeah, essentially these all 5 things encapture the most essential parts of camping in my experience. So I hope you liked this short video. I just had a little bit of spare time in my hands. I thought I would give a few suggestions to you, and I hope you've liked what you're seeing. Stay tuned for more such tips, and if you haven't already subscribed, do all of that crap. And yeah, see you soon. Thanks for watching the video.